Hey, welcome again, everybody, to, my glasses are fogging up, sorry. Let me take this off. Hopefully, nobody tells on me. I just took off my Corona mask. Please don't report me for not social distancing here in the studio, all right? So you know how that works. But this one is called The Price of Fear because it really is a testament to the ability for people to use fear to control others. I'm talking about government, media, universities, as I usually do, but I'm also talking about you because I don't think you get it. I think there are many, many things that you do not understand. And the price of fear is extremely high. And it doesn't cost the people who use it very much, I don't think, but it costs us a lot. And it's going to cost you a lot later. If you're a younger person, it's going to cost your children a huge price. And I'm talking about the reaction to the novel coronavirus, this COVID-19 this COVID-19 era. As of today, and today is April 16th, 2020, the highest number of deaths per state in the United States is New York State. That's me. That's New York. That's us, right? I work at Mount Vernon High School in New York, just north of the Bronx. And New York is at 14,000 deaths as of today of coronavirus. Now, I don't know what that means because the press keeps telling me that a soccer coach age 20 died of coronavirus. Turns out he had late-stage leukemia. In paragraph 9, there was a teacher, 47 years old in the Bronx, died of coronavirus. Turns out he too had late-stage cancer. And the heading is teacher dies, soccer coach dies of coronavirus. So, but I'll just stick with the numbers. 14,000 in the United States, or in New York. The number 5 country had 1,000, and every other state in the United States, as of today, was below 1,000. The lowest being Wyoming, which had 2 deaths of coronavirus reported as of today. 2. And the ability to use fear is tied at the hip, connected at the hip with the herd. Because when I talk like this, people get angry at me. And people get angry at other people. It's not, Brendan O'Neill was talking about this on his podcast. Dave Smith has talked about it. And the reaction, anyone who questions the reaction, you get the usual mouth-breathing, imbecile response of you care more about the economy than you do people. I had a supervisor above me even kind of suggest that in a post in our online school. So first of all, that's a false comparison. That's a false dichotomy. If you care about topic X, it means you don't care about topic Y. The other thing is, we as people, we are the economy. So if things aren't going well in the economy, there's a high price to pay. So not only is there a large dollar price to pay with dropping the economy to zero in the novel coronavirus era, there's a social price to pay. There are physical prices to pay when you say you can't work. And my point has always been the reaction is way, way overblown. It's really too much. And people are throwing at people like me, Brendan O'Neill, and others. They've said that, well, you can't criticize this because people's lives are at stake. Well, the numbers don't add up. And you know what we do as people all the time? We do a cost-benefit analysis. We talk about trade-offs. I've talked to you before. 40,000 highway deaths a year in the United States. We could drop that down to under 100. Very, very easily. Forbid anyone in any kind of vehicle, for any reason, at any time, to drive more than 25 miles an hour. Anyone, ever. Trucks, cars, going to grandma's house, the double 18-wheeler trailer from target that I saw on the thruway the other day, 25 miles an hour. And 40,000 deaths on highways, there might be 100 of random acts of nature or God making those people get killed, because it won't be their speed or other random things. 100. But we say as a group, as all of us, well, the price would be much too high if we made everyone drive 25 miles an hour or slower all the time, every day of the year in the United States. We could do it. But we say no, the trade-offs are not acceptable. So now we have other trade-offs going on now. The idea that we are going to have everybody out of work who isn't an quote-unquote essential worker is the thing that the herd has been trained by the media and the government media complex to say, oh, if you even talk about this, you're talking about killing somebody. You must want people to die. And you shut up. You know, I know people, when I bring this kind of stuff up very gently, because I'm now 47 and I'm much more skilled at bringing up uncomfortable subjects, I bring things like this up and people aren't quite sure how to react, because they've been trained to say, oh, well, if you're questioning the reaction to the novel coronavirus, you must want people to die. You must not you must not be caring about human life. And so that's the price that you pay. You become a parrot. You become something that just repeats it's been told. Right? So this is the kind of thing that's going on all the time now. People who pretend to care about people in the poor neighborhood, people in the black neighborhood, people in third world countries, people of color, to use the awful term they've chosen to use on the campus. Well, if those countries can't export goods, if those countries, or forget about can't, let's say that it slows down to a trickle. What do you think happens to the people in those countries, in the wretched, poor parts of India, or Bangladesh, or China, or Taiwan? What do you think is happening to the tiny bit of industry that's going on in a place like Haiti? What about the poor people in the Dominican Republic? Tourism is a main part of that country. So is Antigua. Antigua's basic entire economy is based on tourism. How do I know this? Because Emily sits in period 7 in the front on my left. She's from Haiti. And Dion, she sits on the first row in period 7, and she was born in Antigua. That's how I know. So those countries are now reeling even further, and you pretend to care about them and those people and start screaming if someone says, well, maybe the reaction is a little overdone, because the numbers don't add up. They really don't. It's a completely overblown, clumsy attempt to stop the spread of a virus that can somehow leap not more than 6 feet. It can leap 4 or whatever. And you got to make sure that you save the masks and wear gloves. Oh, wait. Whoops, we changed it. Now you have to wear a mask, and no one seems to be talking about gloves. You see where I'm going with this? So this hysteria, it really makes me think, even though I am an optimist, it really makes me think that America is over, that it's really just finished. The government can, through decree, say, we're shutting you down. You can't go to work. Just like that. Just like that. You can't do it. This hysteria, apocalyptic view, it's very reminiscent of the people in the mid-1800s who, they pick a date, 1876, 1899, 1900. They figured that it was the end of days and the deity was going to come, the Lord was going to show up, and it would be the end of the world. It was the end of time. And, when that day came and went and nothing happened, oh, no, it's later. It's going to be this. It's very much like those preachers who are always talking about the end of times and it's all going to be over. This apocalyptic, hysterical victimhood. And the sick part of it is, the part that actually does make me upset, is that you think somehow that the government is going to save you and their decisions are the right ones. And anyone like me, like the other people I've mentioned in this video cast, anyone who questions those people and their orders doesn't care about human life and is a bad person. That's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be a free person. And even if someone like me has an opinion that you don't like, ask that person, why do you think this? Why do you see it that way? Which I've tried to lay out in my own clumsy way at the beginning of this video. We do make mental calculus all the time with regard to deaths. Tucker Carlson brought up the other stuff I told you the other day with drug deaths, prescription drug deaths, 65,000 a year, conservatively. You haven't seen a death ticker for that on CNN ever. Ever. The war on drugs, number of people dead, prescription drugs, fentanyl, and the Sackler family, death toll numbers on the lower corner of the screen. You've never seen that because they don't care. Those deaths aren't meaningful deaths. Only COVID-19 deaths are meaningful deaths. And all the other deaths don't count. And they're able to do that because they're able to make you afraid. Luckily, people in Michigan aren't as afraid. There's apparently a revolt going on in Michigan. And it's funny how the media and social media paint these people. Republicans with MAGA hats protesting. You know what they're protesting? The fact that the corner store is not allowed to open. A small restaurant is not allowed to open, even if they keep someone apart. But Walmart is. You must be the stupidest person alive. I've seen you on social media. Oh, look at these Republicans. Someone even wrote Republicans with 3 Ks instead of the C. Look at these Republicans and their MAGA hats. No science going on here. All this kind of stuff. And you know what they're upset about? Walmart can be open. Big corporate can be open. Costco is open. Stu Leonard's is open. Whole Foods is open. Amazon is pulling in a major profit. But the local Mexican place, they're probably going to go bankrupt. And you pretend to care. Open borders. Those illegal immigrants, they'll do the jobs that Americans won't do. How dare you? But Walmart's open. And the people in Michigan, they hate it. They don't like it. They're just working folks. And your behavior is altered and made to look ridiculous because corporate media and social media, and when you look at who runs both of those things, they're professionals at this, they're able to make you afraid. That's how it works. And they're good at it. So in closing, the price of fear is very high because you're kidding yourself if you think that Johnny and Susie government official haven't been looking around and saying, wait a minute. We made everybody afraid about this virus. And I'm just saying that the numbers are real. I'm not even going to say the numbers are artificially inflated. Let's just say they're legit. They don't compare to anything. They don't compare to cancer, drug use, automobile deaths. They're not even close. And so by using this, they're sitting around and look at some people are real. They're figuring stuff out. Look at what we did. They're sitting there thinking, look at what we were able to do. We made people afraid about a virus. The numbers don't jive with anything important. And we controlled the population of the United States and many other major countries in the world. We did it. Someone has, besides me, has noticed this. And they're going to use it later. And they're going to use it on you. And then they're going to use it on your children. So I don't know what the next fear is going to be. I'm not sure. It's funny because they've made us afraid of Muslims. They keep telling us to be afraid of Muslims. They keep telling us to be afraid of the Chinese. Be afraid of Putin and Russia. Remember Russiagate? Remember Trump, the election was interfered with Russia? Remember the impeachment? All that stuff's gone. And the conspiracy theorist in me says they noticed that it didn't work. That people laughed it off. But the regular people haven't laughed this one off. They've actually, for whatever reason, been made afraid of the novel coronavirus in a way that they haven't been made afraid of pretty much anything else. Even September 11th. I was 29 years old. I remember September 11th, 2001 very well. And the after effects were a couple of weeks, and then, you know, what did government do? Give money to big corporations, make everybody afraid for about 6 weeks. You now take off your shoes and go through all of these privacy-destroying devices, right? They got theirs, and they keep moving the needle. You keep giving them an inch, and they keep taking 10 miles. Maybe someday you'll see it. I don't know. I hope not. But they're keeping you afraid, and it's time to stop, slow down, ask yourself why, and stop being nervous. Stop being afraid. Sit still for a minute, look around, do some math, and see what you can come up with on your own. And rather than yelling at people who have opinions that you don't like, listen to them, process them, and ask yourself, why are they thinking differently? That's the lesson for today. Thank you very much. Talk to you next time.